Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. Well, it happened. It's over and done with. Wrestlemania 41 is in the books. And if you're here, you're asking yourself, well, what just happened? We are going to go over everything. Not in much detail, because we really don't need to go into much detail. We just need to hit the important parts. So, my first real true complaints about WrestleMania is that you gave us 14 matches in 2 nights under 8 hours, and that's it. Not a lot of bell to bell time. There's so many commercials and ads and acknowledge this person, acknowledge that person. But let's dive into the show. Our opening contest on night 1 was Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I think the winner was never in doubt here. So it was all about making it be believable, and this wasn't a true back and forth affair, but ultimately what happened was Jey showed that he is not scared of Gunther, and Gunther gave him his best shot, and it wasn't enough, and Jey followed up with everything that Gunther threw at him. Jey came through, and ultimately he made Gunther tap out, which I don't agree with. I agree with Jey winning. I do not agree with Gunther tapping out. I would have much rather Gunther be put to sleep, but Jey was overwhelmed by much of Gunther's offense for this match. It is what it is. We knew Jey was definitely going to. Next up, we had the World Tag Team Championship being defended against the War Raiders, defended against the New Day, and this was another match that was never in doubt. The New Day won here off of a quickness. They had to win here. The Raiders really haven't had a great reign, but the New Day, the New Day now being the focal point of the Raw Tag Division is solid. This was like a theft. I mean, the New Day just stole these from the War Raiders. We move on to Naomi versus Jade, Cargill, and this was fine. It didn't overstay its welcome. This was definitely one of Jade's best matches to date, and Naomi was definitely motivated, and she looked really, really impressive here, busting out some new offense, some fresh offense, and making Jade look good. Jade always looks good, but in the ring she's gotten better. The presentation, the energy is all there. I just don't agree with the winner. I think Naomi should have definitely won here, but if this is the start of the feud, this is the first match of this feud, so I could take a rematch going down at Backlash. Then we had LA Knight, defending the United States Championship against Jacob Fatu, and this was another match where I really think the winner was never in doubt. This was a good match. Jacob did not outright squash LA Knight. LA Knight got in a lot of offense. He looked really, really good here. It's that Jacob Fatu is just undeniable. The dude's got everything that makes you a star. Knight brought us A game, but Jacob's A game was just that much better. So we'll see how Jacob Fatu's reign goes, and we'll see what's next for LA Knight. The landscape of SmackDown is definitely going to be weird coming here. Then we had Grande Americano taking on Rey Fenix. If you didn't hear, we'll get to more of it in the High Risk Wrestling recap later today. But the WWE has purchased AAA, and I have thoughts. Gonna check out the recap. So Rey Fenix was the replacement for Rey Mysterio, and this is 2 years in a row where Dragon Lee was not selected. I'd be mad if I was Dragon Lee, but this was a solid affair. This was a good match, not a great match. It went under 8 minutes, but there just wasn't enough for me here. This should have went 12 to 15 minutes. I know what Chad Gable and Rey Fenix were capable of. The gimmick of everything with El Grande Americana, I get it. Whatever. This was fine. We'll see what's next. And remember, they are on different brands. So we'll see where this feud goes next. Then we had the WWE Women's Championship with Tiffany Stratton defended against Charlotte Flair. And this was a good match, not a great match. They put everything out there. And it was definitely physical, as I thought it would be. Pretty physical. It wasn't pretty. It was an ugly match. And I was expecting that with the hostility shown between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. But Tiffany worked smarter, not harder here, because once she got the upper hand attacking Charlotte's leg, she really locked it in. But this was a solid match. Tiffany Stratton retained, which I was very shocked with Tiffany Stratton winning. I could be down for a second match here. Tiffany had a shiner and a chipped front tooth. And we'll see what goes next, because Charlotte has never been interesting without having a championship on her. That's the fault of the promoter. So we'll see what goes down there. And lastly, our main event, the triple threat match, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. And this was a very spirited affair. These guys really put in the work. The story was all about Paul Heyman here and Seth Rollins being the architect that he is. He tells the truth and no one wants to believe him. He tells Roman like it is, and Roman still has that hate in his heart. You know what? I get it. I understand. But Paul Heyman, instead of giving the chair to Roman Reigns, he gives it to CM Punk. And then he low blows Punk and gives the chair to Roman. And then he low blows Roman and gives the chair to Seth. And Seth Rollins wins this match, pinning Roman Reigns and walking away with Paul Heyman. Outstanding. Just great character work all around. CM Punk got his dream of being in the main event of WrestleMania. Seth Rollins gets the big win. Roman Reigns takes another loss at WrestleMania. But the story is interesting moving forward. But remember, everything that Seth has said has been true. We move on to night 2 of WrestleMania, and our opening contest was the triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. And I would have been very pissed if Io Sky had lost this match. She really needed the win here. She's being overlooked and demeaned by Rhea and by Bianca. But Io Sky wins this match, an absolutely banger of a match. Everybody showed up and showed out here. It was really good chemistry, and they worked very hard here. There was some good moves from everyone. Io walks away the winner, and then you have to respect her. And then we can move forward with Bianca versus Rhea, and we can move forward with Io getting a new challenge. Then we had the Sin City Street Fight, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. And ladies and gentlemen, this was fun. I've seen better street fights, but Drew needed the win here. Priest was fine. He's an interesting guy. Same thing with Drew. And I like what they did here. It didn't overstay his welcome. It went about 14 minutes. And the match ends with Drew hitting a Claymore onto Priest. And his head went right into a chair. So this was fun. This was solid. And now it's all about the follow-up. What do we do with Drew? What do we do with Damian? Then we had the Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker defending against Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. And this was cool. This was cool, but I think the result that we all wanted, we all got. Dominic Mysterio walks away your winner and is the new Intercontinental Champion. And he pinned Finn Balor. That's the big shock here. He pinned Finn. And now what happens with the Judgment Day? Everybody looked great here. Braun was a star. I wish they would treat Carmelo Anthony the same way they treated Braun Breaker, but I digress. Then we had Randy Orton with his open challenge. Who would step up to face the Legend Killer, the Viper? And we had plenty of guesses that would have been correct. Aleister Black, Rusev, Nick Aldis, but no. It was none of those men. It was none other Then the current TNA champion Joe Hendry say his name, and he appears. This did not overstay his welcome. It was fun. It was quick. Randy got his match. Randy wins. The TNA champion took a loss, took a couple RKOs, but it's okay. This one is like, it was fun, so it doesn't really hurt anybody. Then we have Logan Paul, AJ Styles, and a really fantastic match about, can AJ take that next step, get the devil out of him, and use that to his advantage. But no, he did not. Karrion Kross tried to help him, and AJ rejected that. And because AJ rejected Karrion Kross's help, that means, Logan Paul wins this match. Where do we go? Because I really needed AJ Styles to win this match, and I don't need Logan Paul back on my screen. He's not taking this seriously. He's not doing this full time, and AJ Styles has that out, but I digress. Then we had the women's tag team championship match with Liv and Raquel defending against Lyra Valkyrie and her mystery partner, seeing as how Bayley was attacked, and the mystery partner was none other than Becky Lynch, like all of us figured. And of course, what happened? Lyra and Becky won. There you go. It's a fine tag match. It's good to have Becky back. She and Lyra have chemistry together, which I'm all fine with. So why not just have this match? There was a lot of things I have a problem with. Chelsea Green wasn't on this card. Why was Lyra not defending her championship in a singles match? Why weren't Liv and Raquel facing someone else? There was just a lot I did not like here. This is fine. Whatever. I feel bad for Liv and Raquel, especially Liv and everything she's done over the last year and a half. Stone Cold came out and announced the attendance. He said the two-night attendance was a little over 124,000. Yeah, whatever. We'll move on to the main event. Cody Rhodes, John Cena, WWE Undisputed Championship, and we know how this was supposed to go, and it went the way we thought. John Cena is now a 17-time world champion, but he won with the help of Travis Scott and not The Rock. We had a ref bump. There was no Rock. The Rock was not on the road to WrestleMania after the Elimination Chamber. This was fine. It was fine. They hit their moves. They got their spots in. It was a good story. I definitely want to see these two go again with the volume turned up some and really get that aggression out here. But John Cena walks away as your champion. And overall, WrestleMania 41 gets a B minus. Something just felt off about this show, and I think my complaints fall into the realm of too few matches over 2 nights, not enough wrestling, because ladies and gentlemen, night 1 of WrestleMania was 4 hours, and there was a total of 1 hour and 46 minutes of bell-to-bell action. That is unacceptable. Then they announced on SmackDown the TLC tag title match. Why was this match not on WrestleMania? Why are you having it on SmackDown? No Chelsea Green defending her championship. Lyra Valkyrie not defending her championship. The women's tag team title's not in a different belt, different match, and Bayley not being on this show. She got taken out. This just wasn't fun. I don't get it. I don't like it. I am upset. But overall, it was a fine show. My match of the weekend probably goes to the women's triple threat match. I think I liked WrestleMania 40 better. We'll see what the follow-up is, as Backlash is in 3 weeks. Let that sink in. But that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. What just happened? WrestleMania 41. Peace.